Welcome, Richard, to Coffee Talk.
Hey, Randy, how are you this morning?
Good. We have been talking for a little bit. You and I have been talking the last couple of weeks about hearing directors say, I just wish I had a little bit more talent in my group, or if we had had this, or if we had had that. So I thought maybe we'd take this morning to discuss developing talent, ways to develop talent in your organization. Whether it be that you don't have the strongest feeder in the world or whether you don't have a private lesson program, we're going to discuss some ways that you can hopefully continue to develop over the course of the next few months talent in your ensembles. So, Richard, take it away.
Well, obviously, there's numerous directions we can go with this, Randy, but what I'm going to start with is just this whole idea of doing some chamber music with your kids. Um, you may have, like in Indiana right now, I know that tomorrow my son has to have all his forms turned in for solo ensemble. I'm excited for him because he's doing a snare solo, marimba solo, drum set solo. I love that because I know he's getting the added experience that he needs to continue to develop himself as a member of future ensembles so that he can really contribute. Plus, I know he really enjoys doing those things on his own. He loves playing the solos, and it fires him up. And I'm thinking it does that for a lot of kids. And I know that sometimes directors are hesitant sometimes to take classroom time for chamber music. But I will tell you that some of the best programs in the country do take a few weeks, and it's usually around this time of year that they will do a chamber music segment where everyone in the band has to be participating in a chamber music ensemble where it's basically just one, maybe two on a part at the most. It's a great way, I think, to get kids to really listen to themselves and police how they're kind of sounding as individuals. And obviously, working with a small chamber group also pushes their musicianship. They have to step up from a musicianship standpoint in terms of dynamics, tuning, blending, balance, all those different things, especially style, articulation. I know that whenever we did that at Carmel, we always felt like we got a lot of great kids back in return because they were just stronger. And one of the ways they were stronger is they sounded better, but the other thing is they read better after that. That's one thing I would suggest to directors who are looking maybe to shake things up a little bit during your week or in your rehearsals. Maybe try adding a chamber component.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And I think that along with that, you could establish Master Clinic Month where you try to bring in some collegiate professors or graduate students that come in and do master clinics for your students. Sometimes graduate students have, a certain number of hours they have to put in as outreach. That's a great way to possibly go about that. And of course, universities are always trying to recruit. So that's a great recruiting tool for them if they can have one of their student ensembles in and then do a master clinic for your students. Just finding ways to do that. And then, there's also a great number of resources online, things like Music Professor. You can use that as part of your master clinics for students, but it's really kind of delving in and not having the pressure of having to prepare for a performance necessarily. I know everybody has, a lot of people have holiday concerts, things like that, but once that's over, maybe program a little bit lighter on that side so that you can continue working on smaller group things and giving opportunities for students to experience the chamber ensembles and to really focus on tone, technique. That's another thing. I think I talked about this a couple of segments ago. Hand out a tone study, and have the entire band work on a tone study. Or if your state is doing all state auditions, have every student, look at the material, one of the segments from that, and work on it together. That's going to help develop their skill sets. Just get them to kind of expand their horizons, so to speak, as musicians, and get them to be able to understand what they have to do to get better. Because I do think every student does want to get better. And I think it's a great recruiting tool too, right, Richard? I mean, if students are getting better, they tend more to stay in band, right?
Right, they'll stay in band, but the other thing they'll do too, Randy, as you know, is they'll practice on their own. You
Yeah.
know, if they really are getting better and they enjoy what they're doing, they're going to go home and do more practice on their own than they normally would, because they're fired up about their playing, but also because they can read music, all those things. So yeah, I think you're right on with your thoughts there.
And the other piece of that is get your own instrument out there, band directors,
Yeah, yeah,
and do some demonstrating for your students. Many of you do that already, but dust the cobwebs off and play along with them, whether it be one-on-one or in smaller groups, and just everybody get excited about possibly just revisiting their instrument again and trying to get better. We appreciate you being with us this morning. Thanks so much, and we'll see you later on Coffee Talk.
happy holidays.